Any health-related information on the following show provides general information only. Content presented on any show by any host or guest should not be substituted for a doctor's advice. Always consult your physician before beginning any new diet, exercise, or treatment program.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Inspired and Empowered Living TV show and podcast for a thriving business and life. And we are live on Thursdays at 5 p.m. Eastern on talk4tv.com, w4wn.com, and my YouTube channel. And today, I'm very excited. We are continuing in the Reset, Refocus, and Thrive series. And today we focus on refocusing. So getting clear on what really matters. And so, and I'm your host, Nancy Deutsch, licensed clinical social worker, certified hypnotherapist, and intuitive business coach and consultant. And I'm here to transform your lives and your businesses. This show is not a replacement for therapy or counseling. It is for educational purposes only. And so let's talk about getting clear on what really matters. So in episode 1, we talked about letting go of limiting beliefs, the fear, and the emotional baggage. We explored space for new possibilities. And now this is about helping you to get clear. Because the clearer you are, the more refocused you can be. You have the direction that you need to go in, which will help create more confidence, more trust in yourself, and helping you to really experience moving forward. And I can tell you from my own experience how important the clarity is. I mean, just recently, I had an experience where I was feeling not feeling clear, not feeling focused, not sure what direction. So I really want you to know I get where you are, and I really want to support you in being present for this episode so that we can help you refocus. And then all of a sudden, I got the download, I got the clarity, and it came. And as soon as I got that clarity of where I'm moving, or another piece, I will say another piece to where I'm moving, everything, I could feel my whole body and my nervous system calm down. And I'm sharing this with you because this may be also what's going on for you. When you're not feeling clear, when you feel like you're spinning, I call it the spinning head, and you're all over the place and distracted, it creates anxiety in your nervous system, and you feel discombobulated sometimes. But when you allow yourself to get more clarity, and sometimes I also want you to know clarity is a process. It's part of the journey. So I also don't want you to make yourself wrong. I want to support you in being in the journey. So let's talk about why you may feel stuck. So most the time you may believe that you're stuck because you don't have enough confidence or don't have enough time or don't have enough opportunity. But that's not really the issue. The real issue is not having the clarity. And when you're unclear, you second guess yourself, totally true. And you may, excuse me, you may procrastinate and you may be unsure what direction to take because when you're unclear, you don't really know what direction to take. Some of you may be an information gatherer. So it's gathering the information, which, and I'm going to tell you, AI can be the biggest benefit, but it can also be the biggest challenge because AI is all about information. And so you could get more and more information and it could create such spinning in your head. And that could also help you or not help you know what direction to take. And what ends up happening is you may feel overwhelmed. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, I really want to support you. Everybody take a breath. And I'm hoping this show will give you some more guidelines and help you get more clarity. And what happens is part of the reason you don't have the clarity is you may be on information overload. And that's what happens with AI. Or another way I know clients go on information overload is they ask opinions of their family, of their friends. What should I do? What, blah, 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 blah. And then it can get you more confused. Now, I'm not saying not to ask for support, but if you're asking for advice or help in making decisions, and I have clients that say, what should I do? What decision should I make? And I don't want to do that for them. They need to do it. And what I do is I help them get into their intuition, help them connect and breathe and let them decide what's best for them. And that I want to support you is what I want to support you to do as well. Because when you are in that place, you will go on overwhelm if you have too many choices, too many distractions. I mean, in today's society, we have major distractions. I mean, how many of you are constantly checking your phone? All right, our phone, and I know that I cannot keep the beeps on. It's too distracting for me. But if those of you who keep the beeps on, or whatever, the dings, when a text comes in, when an email comes in, it may really totally distract you. And if you're trying to please everyone, that can lead to confusion and lack of clarity. If you're comparing yourself to others, that will definitely keep you feeling unclear. And also, you may start beating yourself up and you're not feeling good enough. All of those happen when you start comparing yourself to others. And then there's the fear of making the wrong choice. If you make a choice and you move in a certain direction, oh no, is this the wrong choice? What should I do? And here's the thing, it's really important for you. First thing that I'm going to tell you to do, slow it down. Take some deep breaths. Everybody breathe with me right here, right now. Breathing and allowing yourself to breathe. And we have some questions and comments in. Mickey says it could be a long, twisted journey. And Mickey, you are so right. So true. It could be a very long and twisted journey. And Misty agrees with you. Because here's the thing, life doesn't function in a straight line up the hill or a straight line down the path. Usually it's twisty and turny and windy, and it's part of the path. It's part of the journey. And sometimes there's big boulders, sometimes there's little pebbles, sometimes there's rocks and in your path. And it's about you being able to navigate. Sometimes you need to change direction or change course. Sometimes you need to move out of the way and then come back, take a detour and come back. Or sometimes you need to totally change directions. All of those can be possible. So yes, a long, twisted, windy, I'm going to call it windy journey. And then Anastasia asks, how many things can a person think about at one time? The truth of the matter is, okay, in any one moment, you really can only think about one, and I'm talking about moment by moment. Like you may have a lot on your mind, but in a moment of time, you're thinking about one thing. That's why when we talk about multitasking, now multitasking can be good, but how present are you if you're multitasking? And I'm not saying it's wrong, because some people I know for their jobs or whatever, they need to multitask. But if you're talking or having a conversation with somebody, you want to be more present. And that includes, and I'm going to make the inclusion of yourself. In order to get the clarity, you want to be more present with yourself. So if you have a lot of things on your mind, so you could be juggling a lot of things, but in any one moment, you're only thinking one thought or thinking one thing at a time. One thought, one belief in a moment. But at each moment can have many. So you can go on overwhelm easily. So that's why I'm saying slow it down and breathe. And, now let's talk a little bit identifying the distractions, your limiting beliefs, and competing priorities that would keep you in stuck or overwhelmed. So there are two kinds of distractions. The first distraction we're going to be talking about is the external distraction. And the external distraction is technology. It's your cell phone. Let's all admit, hey, I know I do it too. I love myself. I am attached. Okay. So I admit, but I will tell you, like I said, I turn off the beeps. Because I know when I'm in a session with a client, when I'm doing this show, I want to be totally present and aware. And if I'm hearing beeps, it distracts me. Now, I don't know if that would distract you, but that's something for you to think about. If you know that you're getting a call, or if you need to put your phone on because of some situation, that's one thing. But if you can turn it off or put it on do not disturb or put it on silent, I really want to support you as a possibility to do that at least sometimes, especially if you're taking alone time or you're trying to be present with someone else. So another distraction, okay, everybody, social media. Social media is a distraction. And how many of you are scrollers and you scroll and you scroll and you scroll? And I'm laughing because I just started listening to the song and I don't remember it offhand. Otherwise, I would tell you. In the song, it's something about the morning, and instead of the scroll, I check my soul. So I love that. That's so cool. So social media can be a distraction. Email can be a distraction. The news can be a distraction. Other people's expectations can be a distraction to you. And saying yes too often, and that could include being the people pleaser. So that's the external distractions. And then we have the internal distractions. And the internal distractions are those self-doubts. Every time you doubt yourself, every time you're feeling that fear, or maybe for you, it's perfectionism. You have to get it perfect. It has to be right. You're afraid of being wrong. Perfectionism. That is an internal distraction. Or maybe you're overthinking. Thinking. That thinking, there's a saying in Buddhism, I believe it's monkey mind. There is monkey mind, all that talking, overthinking. You need to quiet that thinking mind down. And then some of you may have imposter syndrome. You don't feel good enough or worthy or deserving. You feel like you're a fraud. And all of that. You may need classes. You may not. You may have all the knowledge you need, or you may, imposter syndrome could be what's keeping you from having the clarity or moving forward or having that refocus time. And then how many of you worry about what others think or even what they feel? So if you're worrying about what others are thinking or feeling, or worrying about, are they going to judge you? That's your internal distractions, but also you've created the internal distraction about what other people are thinking and feeling. And there's a saying, and I don't know where it's from, but I remember, what other people think of you is none of your business, which means focus on what you're feeling, what you're thinking, what you need, what you want. That will help move you towards clarity. And also internal distractions are the ones that can keep you stuck the longest, because those internal distractions, those limiting beliefs, those feelings will keep you stuck or paralyzed in patterns. And you feel like you're going around and around on the hamster wheel. And so that's why it's important to slow it down, take a big breath. And really, I want you to think about what might look like procrastination may really be fear disguised. And procrastination, now, if you get distracted by doing all these things, you may be doing all the things to distract you and procrastinate to doing what you really need to do. But what happens is when you're avoiding what really matters, it will keep you from where you really want to be, where you really want to go, and moving towards what truly matters and what your heart and soul are guiding you towards. Okay. Misty asks, Anastasia, and then I'll get to Misty's question. Anastasia says, why don't people ever people please their own self? So Anastasia, if you're a people pleaser, you have learned to please others. It's part of your conditioning. And what you need to learn is to please thy own self. I love that. And so what I really want to support you, and all of you that don't know how to please yourself, but are too busy people pleasing others, take a breath. Take a breath and ask yourself, what do I really want? What is my truth? And before you give somebody an answer, before you say yes to something you really want to say no to, or before you say yes, you need to go inward and quiet your mind and tune into your heart and breathe and ask, what do you really want? What will please me? That is a great question. What will please me? Ask yourself that. I invite you to do all that. And Misty asks, is that where ADHD comes in? So ADHD is actually something going on with the brain and how you're functioning. It's one of the neurodiverse diagnoses. But I want you to know ADHD, ADD, and those diagnoses. I want you to know that you can learn to quiet your mind. It may take a longer time for you, but there's ways for you to do it. So everything for some of you who have been diagnosed, or even if you haven't been diagnosed, because I think a lot of people, I know clients that say, I've never been diagnosed, but I feel like I'm ADHD. And what I want you to know is that the things and the tools that I'm teaching you and talking to you about can work for you too. And it's going to be maybe more time in order for you to be able to do it, but it can be done. And Misty asks, is it monkey mind in a sense? Yes, actually, it's kind of monkey mind. When you're in ADHD, it's hard for you to focus. It's very hard for you to sometimes sit still. You easily get distracted. And so, yes, monkey mind would be one of the ways, yes. But I also want you to know, you may not have a diagnosis of ADHD and still have a monkey mind. I really want you all to know that I think overthinking is epidemic in our society. And it's epidemic in our society. I know I have it too. I go in overthinking. The reason why I'm so good at sharing all of this with you is because I have to learn how to do it all too. Refocusing, being able to focus and talk myself off the ledge, or change direction, or whatever it is that I need to do in order to come back to center. And that's why I'm saying slowing things down. And some of the ways that you can help, whether you've been diagnosed with ADHD or you are in overthinking, is using the breath. That's why I said breathe. They say that breathing actually helps the part of your nervous system that goes on overload or overwhelm to calm down. And that's why breathing, and that's why I'm always talking about breathing. And the other thing is ADHD and overthinking means you're not in your body. You're in your head and you're spinning around. I call it the spin. I would talk to my clients about spinning, and that thinking. And so it's about breathing and coming back into your body so that you can then focus on what's important to you. That's what counts. And So what happens when life gets noisy? And like I said, there's all kinds of distractions. So every day can be a noisy day. You lose your connection with yourself. And so what you want to do is, instead of saying, what does everybody else want or what do they expect? If you find that you are saying, what do I need to do to please that person? Or what do I, and it may not be always so conscious. This is, sometimes we're functioning on that unconscious place. I will tell you, not sometimes, when you're going into that place, or when you're in overthinking or overdoing or people pleasing, you are in that unconscious, subconscious mind. You're not in conscious mind. And so that's why I'm saying slow it down, so that you can become more present and more conscious of what you want. And so it's about asking yourself, what do I want? Just like I said before, slowing it down, breathing, and asking, what do I want? Because you want to hear, feel, sense, know what your intuition is guiding you. And I just had an experience with a client today, and she's in process of making a major decision in her life. And I'll call her Steph. And so she is in this process of making this major decision in her life. And so as we were talking, and she is somebody who's afraid, Steph is afraid of making the wrong decision. And so what ends up happening is that she procrastinates. There's that word, procrastinates. And she waits, and she doesn't make the decision that she needs to make in order to keep moving forward in her life. And so we're working on that. And so today she said to me, I have this knowing, I just know this is what I need to do. And I said to her, I said, that knowing is your intuition. See, sometimes you may get intuitive hits and you may not even realize it. So if you're getting a strong knowing or a strong sense of something, that could be your intuition coming through. And what happens, you need to look at what your values are, because your values are part of what can guide you and steer you in the direction of what's going to help you to make those decisions, and to help you to know what's true for you, what it is you want. And I want you to know your intuition is always communicating with you. Just like I said, she didn't even realize the knowing was an intuitive hit. And I said, that's your intuition, Steph. So, want you to all to become more aware of what those repetitive thoughts and feelings that you sense you're getting guided. And also know that your intuition is always communicating, but your challenge is that you need to hear it. You need to feel it. But if you're so busy and so distracted and your mind is spinning, you're not going to get it. You're not going to feel it. You're not going to sense it. You're not going to know it. And that's why it's so important for you to learn how to listen before reacting, how to respond. You want to make your choices, not from reactions, but from making a conscious choice, like a very conscious, aware choice. I am choosing this. And you want to make it from a place where you're not rushing. That's why I keep saying, slowing it down. And I know I keep repeating that, but I'm going to tell you, in our world, in our society, in the overthinking, it's fast, 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 fast. Do, 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 do. It's not BBB. It's do, do, do. And so it's about breathing and quieting and slowing down, creating those moments of quiet, slowing down. All of you, that's what I want to support you. And it's working on trusting yourself. Now, the difference between fear and intuition. Fear can be very loud, very loud. Like if you're having that stomach and you're like butterflies in the stomach, like, or you're feeling like, or I'm just, or, you're feeling the anxiety, you know what it feels like. It's loud and it's noisy. And it focuses on everything that goes wrong. Are you someone who goes on the negative, no matter what happens, you go down the negative rabbit hole? Oh, this is what's going to happen. Oh, that's what's going to happen. Intuition is coming from that quiet, calm space. Intuition guides you to what's most aligned. Intuition supports you in being able to know your truth, to help you go into your heart. Your heart knows the truth. Your intuition guides you through your heart's truth. And it's really important to work on allowing yourself to give yourself that space and time of quiet, of breathing, of listening to how your intuition comes through. Like I said, you may see it, you may hear it, you may feel it, you may know it. Comes through many ways. You may see signs. Sometimes some of my clients, they'll see a sign outside. I love license plates. Or sometimes it's a billboard sign, or it could be a sign on a truck. Look for the signs. Ask to be aware, to be open, to see the signs of what will help you. So I have a question for you. What do you think is one thing, and I don't want you thinking, I want you feeling, what is one thing your intuition has been trying to tell you that you've been ignoring? What is one thing your intuition has been trying to tell you, but you've been ignoring? So breathe into that and allow yourself to tune in. And we have some, Mickey says, goodness helps those who have a short fuse. Goodness helps. Explain what you mean. Goodness helps those who have a short fuse. Mickey, could you please explain what you mean? And the rabbit holes are not clearly marked. Yes, it's true. The rabbit holes are not clearly marked. It doesn't say rabbit hole. I'm going down that rabbit hole. But this is about the awareness, because you can't change something you're not aware of. And so it's going to be really important for you to allow yourself to be able to quiet yourself down, or be aware. If you notice that you're in thinking, or you're in negativity, and you're going down that negative rabbit hole, stop and say, stop, and breathe. It's about having the awareness, because once you have the awareness, then you can start taking the action. So I invite you to choose one thing, the next meaningful step that would create greater clarity, confidence, and forward movement. And many people think success means doing more. What it really means is doing less, or doing it from very clear, great intention. So examples about that. So it's focusing on your priorities instead of possibilities. It's really looking at what's a priority for you right now. And again, your values can guide you, support you. Being able to really tune into yourself, is that self-care a priority? And if it isn't, I really, really want to support you in making it a priority, because that's one really important priority. And so it could be, maybe it's one meaningful conversation or an important decision that you need to make, or one boundary you need to say, somebody you need to say no to. Again, your priorities. Or maybe it's one habit you need to break, and one courageous action you need to take. And so I really want to support you in remembering. Okay, Nikki says, so before we support you in remembering, people with a short fuse shoot from the gut. They should hope they can have patience before reacting. Yes. And here's the thing. People with a short fuse can go into reaction easily. That's right. Now, sometimes the gut is that instinct, and sometimes the gut is the fear. And so that's why it's important, if you don't have to make a decision immediately, to take your time. Give yourself permission to take your time to make decisions, to process through it, to allow yourself to give yourself the space and time to what feels right to you. And it may still be the same answer, but at least you know that you came from a choice, from not from a reaction, but a choosing to respond in this way. And that's what makes the difference. It's choosing to respond instead of reacting. That is empowering yourself. That's healthy living. And so what I really want to support you is to remember, you can't and you don't have to do everything. It's not real and it's not true. And well, I also want you to know that not every opportunity is an opportunity you need to take action on, or an opportunity you need to take. This is about you getting clear. Is this opportunity for your highest good? That's what I usually ask. I support you in asking that. And clarity comes from slowing down so that you can hear yourself. You can feel what's your truth, not somebody else's, but what's your truth. And your intuition becomes clearer when you quiet the noise, when you quiet your mind so that you can hear or feel or sense or know. And it's about learning to make that decision by choosing to respond rather than reacting. And so I have a really amazing potential assessment. Am I reaching my full potential self-assessment? It's only 3 minutes. And all you have to do is you're going to go to the download. You go to inspiredandempoweredliving.com/full potential altogether /ebook. So inspiredandempoweredliving.com/ebook. So I invite you to really do that activation or that self-assessment so that you can take action. You can get clear on where you may be blocking yourself, where are your strengths, and what steps you can take to start helping you to move forward. It's really a powerful assessment. And then next week, we're going to be talking about building confidence from the inside out. And it's about learning that confidence isn't something you wait for. It's something you cultivate. It's something you build by the choices you make, by what you believe you can, and the actions you're willing to take. So join me next week for Building Confidence from the Inside Out, episode 3 in the Refocus, in the Reset, Refocus, and Thrive series. And so join me next week on Thursdays at 5 p.m. Eastern on talk4tv.com, w4wn.com, my YouTube channel. And I wish you all an inspired and empowered day, evening, and week. Have a great one, everybody. Bye for now.